It's called Beauty is in the Eye of the Beholder, and this concept, coined by Margaret Wolfe Hungerford in 1878, could not be more appropriate for today's countdown. Everyone sees beauty differently, and different things make different people tick. Have you ever heard of Yaiba teeth in Japan? What about foot binding? If you want to discover some of the strangest things people find attractive, you'll not want to miss this as we count down 15 strangest beauty practices in the world. Number 15. Human tooth sharpening is the process of manually honing teeth, usually the front incisors. Many societies have utilized this form of body modification. Teenagers in Bali have their canine teeth filed down in a procedure known as Potong gigi, or cut teeth, since they're thought to reflect negative emotions like wrath and jealousy. It's also thought to be a strategy for them to spiritually separate themselves from their animalistic ancestors. Teenagers who complete this practice are considered adults and are allowed to have sex and marry. Because they're not allowed to touch the earth during the procedure, the individual getting the operation is dressed in a very nice traditional costume and is frequently carried from place to place by their parents. This is done to avoid encountering harmful powers. The teen would move from place to place while wearing socks to avoid touching the ground in a more modernized version of the practice. The African Herero people began honing their teeth around 1910. Boys and girls both had 4 lower teeth knocked out during adolescence. The upper teeth were then sharpened into an inserted V form. The tribe considered this custom to be beautiful. A woman who did not get the procedure was unable to find a mate. This is something the Mentawai have done in the past as well. The Mentawai considered the soul and the body to have 2 separate beings. If the soul is unhappy with its body, it will leave and the person will die. As a result, the Mentawai began to alter their bodies to make them more appealing. A tribe known as Tayaki Lao ordered every lady ready for marriage to have 2 of her anterior teeth knocked off to avoid causing harm to the husband's family. Men file only the maxillary arch, while some women file both the maxillary and mandibular arches in the Upoto tribe of central Congo. Some of these practices are intriguing, but I'd rather keep my teeth as they are. Number 14. The Meow people are reported to have resided in the Yangtze River's middle and lower reaches, as well as the Yellow River Basin in ancient times. They were forced to travel regularly due to long periods of war until they arrived in southwest China, where they now reside. During the migrations, they traded their possessions for silver, which they turned into a variety of jewelry and ornaments. Silver jewelry is also thought to fend off evil spirits and purify the body of pollutants by Meow people. Silver is still necessary for the Meow people, even if they have settled down. They wear silver headdresses, chains, rings, and bracelets from head to toe for major occasions like a wedding and festivals. The entire outfit can weigh anywhere from 3 to 4 kilograms, with the heaviest being between 10 and 15 kilograms. The most prevalent patterns in Meow Silver jewelry are butterflies and maples, both of which are considered sacred in their culture. Embroidery and silversmithing serve as an important part of handing along Meow history and culture because they don't have their own written language. Silversmithing is passed down through the generations, with craftsmen gaining extraordinary talents without the use of contemporary manufacturing techniques. Human hair is thinner than certain filamentary silver. In 2006, Meow silversmithing was added to China's National Intangible Cultural Heritage Protection List as one of the country's 30 most endangered heritage pieces. Number 13. In Mercy culture, a girl's lower lip is slashed and held open by sodden plug until it heals when she's 15 or 16. The females oversee how far the lip should be extended. It can take months to complete the incredibly painful treatment. Lip plates are more commonly used by unmarried girls and newlywed women than older married women with children. They're commonly seen serving food to men, milking cows, and performing big rites like weddings. Unmarried women, especially those with large labrettes, may prefer to wear them out in public. It is traditional for a lover or husband to wait until his or her girlfriend's lips have healed completely before sleeping with her. On the other hand, modern males are increasingly sleeping with their love interest before ever piercing their lips. The lip plate has several meanings. It is, first and foremost, a symbol of breathtaking beauty. Second, it symbolizes a loyalty to the husband because it is worn with pride when giving food to him. If the husband dies, the lip plate is removed since a woman's outward beauty is seen to degrade when he dies. Finally, the lip plate serves as an eye-catching visual symbol of mercy culture. If they don't have it, they risk being mistaken for a member of another tribe. Number 12. The Kayan tribe's women distinguish themselves by their clothing. Kayan women are notorious for wearing neck rings, which are metal coils worn around the neck to look to lengthen it. When girls are about 5 years old, they begin to wear rings. The coil is changed with a longer one over time and more are added. Because of the weight of the brass, the collarbone is pushed down and the ribcage is compressed. The appearance of a stretched neck is caused by the distortion of the clavicle, not by the lengthening of the neck. Many theories have been proposed as to why the coils are worn. Anthropologists believe the rings kept women from becoming slaves, making them less appealing to other cultures. The coils may also be the result of a desire to appear more appealing by accentuating sexual dysmorphism, as women have slender necks than men. The coils have also been said to give the women the appearance of a dragon, a significant character in Kayan folklore. The coils could be meant to defend against tiger bites, both physically and figuratively. When queried about these notions, Kayan women acknowledge them and frequently state they wear the rings to express their ethnic identity. Because coiling and uncoiling is a time-consuming process, the coil is rarely removed once it is in place. It's normally just taken out to make room for a fresh or longer coil. The muscles are encircled by the coil weaken. For medical examinations, many ladies have removed their rings. Because the area of the neck and collarbone is frequently bruised and discolored, most women prefer to wear the rings after their clavicle has been lowered. Furthermore, after 10 or more years of constant use, the collar feels like an extension of the body. Number 11. It's customary in America to want to straighten crooked teeth as quickly as possible. However, in Japan, there is an unusual tradition that encourages crooked teeth as a symbol of mischievous youth. Yaeba, or double tooth, is a cosmetic procedure in which one's canines are pushed forward, like snaggle teeth to resemble fangs. Yaeba is a cosmetic treatment in which prosthetic teeth are temporarily attached to the canines to make them appear longer and pointier, almost like vampire fangs. To acquire the look, some people have their natural teeth shifted into crooked positions. Yaeba is popular in Japan because it is said to make women look younger and more accessible. Moving your teeth out of alignment on purpose can result in major long-term consequences. Because Yaeba favors overcrowding, you're more likely to develop bacterial overgrowth in difficult-to-clean areas. Bad breath, gingivitis, and tooth decay are all caused by bacteria. Bacterial overgrowth can also raise your chance of developing other health problems like heart disease, stroke, pneumonia, and diabetic complications. The temporary alternative, depending on the type of adhesive used, may cause damage to your enamel. Overcrowding and misalignment of teeth can cause discomfort and/or dysfunction by disrupting the natural mobility of your jaw and mouth. No passing fad is ever worth the serious health risks that Yaeba and overcrowding can pose. Number 10. When you look at our thumbnail, it's hard not to laugh. I mean, if people were born this way, it would be another story. But to do this intentionally is ridiculous. Thankfully, it's only temporary. Jerome Abramovich performed the first Bagel head treatment in Canada in 1999, and Kurope Maeda brought it to Japan in 2007. Since then, he's performed it around 10 times a year at unusual events like underground fetish parties. The subject receives a 300 to 400 cc medical-grade saline injection to the mid-forehead during a 2-hour period, which is then often given a depression in the middle, giving rise to the term bagel head. It is absorbed by the body over time, and by the next morning, everything is back to normal. There were allegations of potential health risks about the process amidst the massive media scrutiny. According to Obar Abrahimi, a dermatologist who has performed saline injections during aesthetic treatments, employing a saline solution that is too concentrated might cause significant dehydration. Furthermore, a bacterial or fungal infection could result from non-sterile saline solution. In his practice, though, Maida employs medical-grade saline. Ibrahimi was also afraid that frequent injections would cause sagging of the forehead skin, something Maida claims does not occur no matter how many times it is done. Number 9. Surgeons have warned those who have their tongue split or obtain oral piercings are putting their health in danger. Tongue splitting, which involves slicing the tongue in half to create a lizard-like fork effect, is becoming increasingly popular among body modification aficionados. It can cause complications such as severe blood loss, infection, nerve damage, and breathing and swallowing problems, according to experts. Tongue and lip piercings have been linked to tooth fractures and gum disease. Complications are thought to occur in more than half of tongue piercings, and 1 in every 5 lip piercings performed on people aged 16 to 24. Although antiseptic can be used to disinfect the skin before piercing, this cannot be done with the mouth. There is usually a mix of good and dangerous germs, and piercing the protective lining can allow a life-threatening infection to enter. Although it is unlikely that this advice would deter those who wish to pierce or change their mouths or tongues, those who do should be aware of the risks and seek treatment at an oral and maxillofacial surgery department as soon as possible if an infection or bleeding develops. It might mean the difference between life and death. Number 8. Makeup, flirtation, and flashy clothes are all on the menu when it comes to the Wadabi tribe beauty pageant. There's a twist to this beauty pageant. The guys dress up and the ladies choose the winners. What can we learn about masculine beauty from the Wadabi people's pageant? The beauty pageant's judges' universal checklist could include tall, thin, facial symmetry, and beautiful teeth. The aesthetic remains true, even when the contestants are men with red, white, and yellow clay on their faces. The rains bring fertility to the dry border of the Sahara, and these strange beauty contests, known as Garawal, commemorate that. Wadabi men in Niger paint their faces and dance for hours to impress female judges who may fall in love with them. In Western views, lipstick and beads are associated with femininity, while the ceremonial outfits are designed to enhance male beauty. There is no stigma linked to temporarily or permanently putting one's marital vows on hold at Garawal. In Wadabi culture, first marriages are planned when the bride and groom are young. Therefore, Garawal is a chance for a love match. This is not a polygamous society. Marrying a new partner necessitates the departure of the previous. Number 7. Teeth blackening is an ancient Japanese tradition in which the teeth are dyed black. Although its origins may be attributed to Japan, where it was first known as ohaguro, it was popular in many Asian countries. Ohaguro, which means blackened teeth, was a widespread practice not only in Japan, but also in Thailand, the Philippines, Vietnam, and China. Teeth blackening was once popular among young girls and boys to mark their coming of age and confirm they had matured into adults. The procedure was deemed safe because it did not harm the teeth or gums in any way, but rather served as prophylactic strategy against gum disease and cavities. It was effective in preventing tooth decay. Ohaguro was also utilized by young women of marriageable age and married women. It was trendy at the time, and these women would paint their faces white so their dark teeth could be seen from far away when they smiled. Blackened teeth were a prestige symbol among members of the aristocracy and samurai, in addition to ladies and young people. It was done without regard to gender. Teeth blackening was also done in some situations for special occasions, such as weddings and funerals. Blackened teeth have long been regarded as attractive. Because it specified some existing aesthetic standards, it was an old sign of beauty and maturity. Number 6. They're a highly talented tribe that herds cattle and lives in one of the hardest settings on the planet. Many people wish to meet the Heba, who are known for wearing ochre on their skin and wearing traditional leather clothes. Among Namibia's ethnic groups, the Heba are possibly the most well-known. Although their photos are often utilized to promote the country, they only account for 1 or 2% of the population. There are semi-nomadic people who rely on herding and rearing sheep, cattle, and goats to survive. The women are noted for applying ojits, a mixture of butterfat and ochre, to their skin and plaited hair, which gives them a crimson color. Both men and women traditionally go topless and wear animal skin skirts or loincloths. Modern clothing is limited, but when it is accessible, it is usually given to men. Number 5. When you stretch out pierced holes in your earlobes, it's known as ear stretching or ear gauging. Given enough time, the diameter of these holes may range from a pencil to a soda can. It takes time and effort to extend your ears. If done incorrectly, it can result in lasting injury or scarring, as well as an increased risk of infection. Ear stretching has been practiced for thousands of years to improve one's appearance. Communities like the Maasai in Kenya and the Huaorani in the Amazon continue to practice it now. The earlobes of the renowned Iceman, a well-preserved human body discovered in Germany in 1991 and dated to almost 6,000 years ago, appear to be stretched. Number 4. Longhorn Meow Village is located at an elevation of 1,600 meters above sea level on the Daking Mountain. The ground is barren and the climate is oppressive. It's colder inside than it is outdoors. Women's headwear in the area is unique. To build a gigantic headgear, the huge wooden long horn on the head is wrapped in black hair that weighs roughly 3 kilos. The black hair is made up of black woolen yarns, and the hairs that fall from mothers, grandmothers, and mothers of grandmothers every day represent blessings from the past to the present. If you're lucky, you could get to see how the headwear is made during your visit to the village. The needlework patterns on the women's clothing are exquisite. Most of the motifs have an abstract geometric weave aspect. The composition is primarily a checkered pattern split by strips, which is simple but elegant. Longhorn women must sew 2 sets of traditional clothing for themselves. They begin sewing the bridal gown with their own hands when they are 12 or 13 years old. The gorgeous garment is constructed after 6 to 7 years of hard labor. Number 3. Angola is home to the world's most unique ethnic groupings and cultures. The Mwila or Mumuhili people live in southern Angola. They are said to be Bantu ethnic groupings who are semi-nomadic. Their main source of income is agriculture, where they raise maize and other staples. Others keep livestock such as goats, cattle, and chickens. According to legend, the Mwila are among the first Bantus to migrate to their current home in Angola during the Great Bantu Migration. The Mwilas are a powerful force to be reckoned with. The Mwila people remained in Angola, despite other Bantu immigrants moving to Namibia owing to conflicts, invasions by larger ethnic groups, or drought. The Mwila women's hairstyle is the most unique and remarkable part of their culture. The women have complex and unusual hairstyles that are highly valued by the Mwila people. Hairstyles that resemble dreadlocks aren't simply for show. The plaits are known as nontombi, and the number of nontombis on a woman's head has a numerical value. The average woman or girl has 4 to 6 nontombis. If you see a mother or a girl with 3 nontombis, it implies that someone in their family has died. The ladies blend ochre or oncula, a crimson paste made from crushed red stone, to create the nontombi. The crimson paste is then mixed with dried cow dung, herbs, crushed tree bark, and a variety of oils before being put into their hair to produce the nontombi. The dried food, beads, and cowries are then placed into their hair. Women often decorate themselves with exquisite jewelry to represent the Mwila culture. The women are particularly well known for wearing heavy mud and bead collars. The sort of necklace a woman or girl wears and why she wears it at any given time is determined by the stage in her life. After marriage, Mwila women are unable to remove their necklaces and must sleep with them. Their hairstyles are protected by headrests. Traditionalists, the Mwila believe in supreme beings and frequently invoke the divine. Number 2. Yao Ningyang, a 10th century royal dancer, is claimed to have inspired foot binding by binding her feet in the shape of a new moon. Emperor Li Yu was mesmerized by her dancing on her toes inside a 6-foot golden lotus adorned with ribbons and valuable stones. The procedure not only changed the structure of the foot, but it also resulted in a unique stride that relied on the thigh and buttock muscles for support. Foot binding was always associated with erotic implications. It became a status symbol among the wealthy as other court women with money, time, and a void to fill took up the practice. In China, a small foot, like a small waist in Victorian England, was the pinnacle of female refinement. Foot size became a sort of currency and a means of obtaining social mobility for families with marriable daughters. A 3-inch foot, known as a golden lotus, was the most prized bride. 4-inch feet were considered acceptable and were called a silver lotus, but feet 5 inches or greater were considered iron lotuses. The chances of such a girl marrying were little to none. Number 1. Ethiopia is home to a diverse range of civilizations that have survived despite the arrival of Western civilization. One of these groups lived along the lower Omo Valley River in southern Ethiopia, the Bodhi tribe. The Mercy tribe and the Bodhi tribe are neighbors. The Bodhi are farmers who still use bartering to do business. These pastoralists hold their cows in high regard. Their cows are so valuable to them that they feed themselves with their blood and fresh milk. Instead of killing the cows, they cut a hole in one of their veins to drain the blood and then seal it with clay. In some ceremonies, these animals are also used. The unusual New Year's celebration in one of the ceremonies. They hold a Kail ceremony at the start of each year to mark the beginning of New Year celebrations. The Kail ceremony is a competition for unmarried men that entails drinking the blood concoction. The 14 clans each propose a single guy they believe is suitable for the competition. The competitors must prepare for 6 months. They're not allowed to have sex or be seen outside their huts during this time. The first bowl of 2 liters is consumed at sunrise, followed by the rest of the bowls throughout the day. Because 2 liters is more than they can drink, it is not uncommon to witness some of these participants vomit the concoction. They cover themselves in clay and ashes on the day of the tournament and demonstrate their acrobatic abilities. They sprint around sacred trees for hours as part of the competition, sometimes with the help of ladies. While they're at it, the judges keep an eye on them. The folks then use a sacred stone on a cow before slaughtering it. The intestines are then used to forecast the coming year. When the old judges choose a winner, they award him the title of Fat Guy of the Year. This is a reward just as in any other beauty pageants. It is the Bodhi people's eternal admiration. I must admit it, I personally find all these traditions somewhat exaggerated, and I don't have a personal favourite. But people are free to do as they please, as long as they're not coerced into doing so, or must suffer through the ordeal against their will. Which one was your favourite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's our countdown of 15 strangest beauty practices in the world. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now!